is not well prepared to proceed, then we must ask ourselves whether proceeding would be doing justice to the people. So can I get your views before we give the way forward? Senator Sifuna.
Chair, I think from the inception of this committee, we have always said that the Auditor General is our eyes. As many of you know, some of us are famously not accountants, and we rely on the expertise of the Office of the Auditor General to be able to see beyond the flashy things that we see. Those of you who have seen today's headline in the Nation, after somebody gallivanting around some fancy stadium, the Auditor General has told us there's 11 billion that has been lost in that stadium. So we need the Auditor General to guide these proceedings, so that when they tell us they're not able to proceed, Chair, we really don't have much choice. But because of what you've said in terms of the importance of doing a thorough job, and Governor, here in this committee, we are very thorough, I think the best way to proceed is to give the auditor an opportunity to test the responses that have been put forward by the Governor, and then we reconvene at the earliest. But Governor, you must understand that we are operating in a very constricted time space, because the House expects a report from this committee on the 31st. So my view would be, Chair, that we can reconvene and do this next week as early as possible. I think the Auditor General can indicate what is the shortest time that they can be able to go through these responses and prepare for a meeting as soon as possible. But what I want to comment is I am part of the leadership of the House, Governor, and it is something that is commendable that you are staying true to your constitutional oath to be able to account for the monies that Kiambu gets. We have had a back and forth with some of your colleagues who have taken the position that they are not going to appear before this committee. We are not unreasonable people. I don't know why people portray us as some devils or demons. Governor, we are not unreasonable people. If a reasonable explanation is provided the way that you have provided, I don't think that anyone on this committee would say, oh, no, we must continue. There is a colleague of yours who came here from Nyandarua, and he told us that there was a meeting that he wanted to go to so that the committee considers releasing him early, and we acceded to that request. So for you to show up here is to demonstrate to the people of Kiambu that you are prepared to account and not running away and hiding like some of your colleagues in the Council of Governors. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to hide. There's no reason for you not to appear before this committee. So for me, Chair, I want to say it is important that governors appear before this committee. I don't know which committee of the Council of Governors you sit on, Governor, because it is none of my business. I'm not a member of the Council of Governors. So when we hear some of your colleagues telling the Senate that they need to reconstitute this committee, tell them to keep off. They have no business constituting committees of the Senate. You have been in the Senate. You are now a governor. Tell the Council of Governors, if there's a governor who wants to be in the Senate and wants to be the chair of PAC in the next session, let them run for Senate. But for as long as they are not members of the Senate, they cannot tell the Senate who sits on this committee. And they must appear. And we have made a decision as the leadership of the House that if you oust your constitutional duty, if you do anything outside the Constitution, there's no business for us to engage. And I think the House resolved that governors must appear. You are an exception. All of last week, we were receiving letters, governors were not appearing before this committee. And therefore, Chair, if you remember the resolution of the House, the governors are in material breach of the preconditions for the meeting that they requested next week. I will be advising the House in my capacity as a leader of the House that we will not sit down with constitutional delinquents. For as long as you have violated the Constitution, Sifuna has no business with you. We will not sit down with constitutional delinquents. So that meeting for next week is of no use because they have refused to. This week, yes, it was supposed to be this week. They were supposed to meet certain preconditions. The entirety of last week, we did not have a single meeting. All the governors chose to stay away. And it is unacceptable because for as long as this committee exists, we must go through the reports of the Auditor General, and we will do so without any fear or favor. And by the way, we have also made it clear that all the 67 senators can do just the work that Sifuna does. If you think replacing Sifuna with anybody else, Kamau, what is his name? Karungo Atsangwa. No. If the Kiambu senator was sitting here, Thangwa, there's people who imagine he would not ask the questions that Sifuna asks. We were all elected to do the same thing, and we understand the job that needs to be done. So I think for me, Chair, it's commendable that the governor of Kiambu has chosen first to appear. He has given an explanation. In my view, it's a reasonable explanation. We can schedule another meeting in a week's time, and we will do the job that is required to be done. But this running and hiding and chest thumping that we see out there, Governor, some of us, we are made of sterner stuff. There's no one who can threaten us or scare us. Tell those colleagues of yours, the Council of Governors, you can't intimidate Sifuna or indeed any senator in this republic. They must show up here. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Huyo ndiye Sifuna. Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Chair. I thought we moved from Mimi ni Sifuna to Sisi ni Sifuna. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that's where we are. So thank you, Chair. First of all, to also register my appreciation to Senator Governor Wamatangi and his delegation for finding it fit to appear before the Senate, as they should, because really this is the Constitution, it's a law. I have very few things to say. One, this is a team of reasonable leaders. We are reasonable people. And when we weigh situations and realize that there is a request being made which is valid, we will grant it because we are reasonable people. So I think, Chair, it's okay. We can grant that the OAG be given time to go through the documents, and then at the earliest time possible next week, then the county government of Kiambu executive will appear before the committee and will process the business before us. Secondly, Chair, because I'm also a leader in the Senate, I think it should go out clearly that when we received a formal request by the Council of Governors, we actually agreed that we will meet them and listen to what grievances they have. If you ask me, we would have even have chosen not to accept to meet them, because the Senate Public Accounts Committee does not audit the accounts of the Council of Governors. They don't appear before us as an entity. The people that appear before us are individual governors. So we would have said, no, you are strangers to us, we don't know who you are. But we said, it's fine, we will meet, we'll have a conversation. But we set a condition. One of the conditions was then the governors must continue to discharge their constitutional responsibility